So Gavin Newsom and the Ninth Circuit are now trying to intimidate Judge Benitez because of his upcoming decisions on the California magazine ban, assault weapons ban, and ammunition restrictions. So let's talk about this. But real quick before we jump into this video, if you agree with Judge Benitez and his pro 2A decisions, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. Also want to give a shout out to one of the main supporters of this channel, which is USCCA. Through your membership, you get training, education, and self-defense liability protection. So if you carry a firearm, I highly recommend you take a look into USCCA, and I will leave a link to them down in the details section. As I mentioned in the intro, in this video, we'll be discussing how Gavin Newsom and the Ninth Circuit in the state of California are now trying to intimidate Judge Benitez because of his upcoming decisions in the Duncan v. Bonta, Miller v. Bonta, and Rody v. Bonta California Pro 2A cases. These cases are challenges to the state's ban on so-called large capacity magazines, the state's ban on so-called assault weapons, and also the state's ammunition restrictions. Recently, you might have seen that Gavin Newsom put out a tweet pointing to a hit piece article written by the San Diego Tribune against Judge Benitez. This tweet by Gavin Newsom reads, "Judge Benitez on full display. This is the man who is deciding the fate of California's assault weapons ban. A man that will handcuff innocent kids in a courtroom for the sake of humiliation. I'm the dad of a 13-year-old daughter. This sickens me." So that is the tweet that Gavin Newsom put out that you may have seen, pointing to an article talking about some conduct by Judge Benitez. So let's take a deeper look at this article, what's going on, and really my opinion of what really is going on and how they're just simply trying to weaponize this issue to scare or potentially halt Judge Benitez from issuing Pro 2A decisions. The article in question is titled, "A San Diego Judge Had a Defendant's 13-year-old Daughter Handcuffed. Now the incident is under review." This is all in relation to Judge Benitez engaging in a tactic, essentially a scared straight tactic against a defendant's daughter, essentially trying to prevent her from following in her father's footsteps, which ultimately was landing the father back in jail. The article reads, "The hearing was held to revoke probation for the girl's father. Following completion, a 5-year prison sentence on a drug distribution conspiracy charge and an additional 5 years of supervised release that was not going well. According to a transcript of the hearing, Benitez gave the man a chance to address the court before being sentenced back to prison for violating the terms of his probation. The defendant told the judge he grew up in San Diego, which means he's constantly running into people he knows and falling into prior bad habits. It's a recurring cycle. It's a revolving door," the defendant said. He went on to say that the only way he believed he could turn his life around was by leaving what I know, leaving everybody I know. Then he told Benitez his daughter is following the same footsteps as I am right now. The judge interrupted the defendant, asking him what he meant. The man told Judge Benitez, "She's basically growing up where I grew up. She's encountering the same people that I grew up with. That's going to lead her into the same path that I went down." After some additional arguments about the case, Judge Benitez then addressed the U.S. Marshal there in the courtroom and essentially asked him, "Do you have handcuffs? Do you got cuffs?" Then he addressed the defendant's daughter in the gallery, asking for her name and asking her to approach the bench, to approach the stand where her father's attorney was actually standing. Then he told the marshal, "Do me a favor, put cuffs on her." At this point, the girl started to cry. Benitez then asked the marshal to escort her to the jury box. Lopez wrote that her client's daughter continued to cry before Judge Benitez released her after a claimed long pause. Judge Benitez then told her, "Don't go away. Look at me. Look at me for just a second. You see where your dad is." "Yes," the girl replied. "How did you like the way those cuffs felt on you?" Judge Benitez asked her. "I didn't like it," she responded. "How did you like sitting up there?" the judge asked. "I didn't like it," the girl answered. "Good. That was the message I was hoping to get to you. So your dad's made some serious mistakes in his life, and look where that's landed him. And as a result of that, he has to spend time away from you. And if you're not careful, young lady, you'll wind up in cuffs, and you'll find yourself right there where I put you a minute ago," he said. "And then someday, you'll look back and you'll say to yourself, where did my life go? And the answer will be that you spent most of your life in and out of jail, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. And it will be probably because of drugs. You're an awfully cute young lady, and I have a feeling you have a wonderful life ahead of you. But from what I just heard about your dad from your dad causes me to be very troubled." Benitez then told the girl to go back to her seat and proceeded with a sentencing of her father and ultimately issued a 10-month prison sentence, which was the term that was being recommended by that father's actual attorney. So he gave him the lesser term that the father was actually asking for. Then after issuing that sentence, he then addressed the young lady once again. He said, "I hope the next time you're tempted to use drugs, even weed, okay, even weed, you'll remember what happened here today. I hope you remember this mean old face." He added that she had so much life ahead of her and urged her to tell her mother if she was ever tempted to use drugs. So that was the conduct in question that Newsom and the court here and this article here are now trying to weaponize against Judge Benitez. And ultimately, they're trying to use this to get him reprimanded. I personally don't have an issue with what he did with the actions here. Some people might have issue with this, but in my opinion, this is simply a case of a judge trying to teach a very valuable lesson to someone who's going down the wrong path. But now Judge Benitez could face serious consequences because of this issue. But in my opinion, this has nothing to do with this actual case. Instead, it has to do with all of his other Pro 2A decisions. Instead, I think Newsom and the Ninth Circuit are latching onto something to essentially scare or to prevent Judge Benitez from ruling in 2A cases. 4 days after the hearing, the chief judge for the Southern District Court of San Diego there, which is Dana Sabra, contacted his counterpart there, Judge Benitez, and said essentially that the Ninth Circuit was going to review allegations regarding his misconduct, judicial misconduct, and that essentially he would have to have a review. Now, I also want to stop here and say that the judge there in question who's contacting Judge Benitez, Dana Sabra, is the judge actually hearing the Rena handgun roster case. And again, this could be very concerning for other cases because now you have Dana Sabra also seeing that the state of California, Gavin Newsom, the Ninth Circuit, are being very aggressive. They're essentially lying, cheating, stealing, doing whatever they can to attack judges who have issued Pro 2A decisions in the past or maybe are going to issue further Pro 2A decisions. The article goes on to state that now a Ninth Circuit judge will review the complaint, conduct an inquiry, and decide what action to take, which could include dismissal of the complaint, corrective action levied against Judge Benitez, or the formation of a special committee to further investigate. The initial review will be completed by the Ninth Circuit's Chief Judge, Mary Murguria, and she actually wrote that she publicly disclosed the complaint against Judge Benitez in order to maintain public confidence in the judiciary's ability to redress misconduct or disability. So this is also being strategically disclosed by that Ninth Circuit Judge Mary Murguria of the Ninth Circuit, who is initially going to review this issue of Judge Benitez and ultimately decide what needs to be done. If that name rings a bell to you, if that Ninth Circuit judge's name rings a bell to you, that's because she's been part of the Ninth Circuit panels who have in fact reviewed prior 2A decisions of Judge Benitez. And again, she has not been Pro 2A. She has not been favorable. In fact, she was part of the Ninth Circuit en banc panel in the Duncan v. Bonta case. She was one of the judges that found that Judge Benitez's lower court decision in the Duncan case was incorrect. She was part of the judges that upheld California's large capacity magazine ban, finding that it was in fact constitutional and did not violate the Second Amendment. So you have an anti-gun Ninth Circuit Court judge who is going to review Judge Benitez's conduct. She was also responsible for publicly disclosing the complaint against Judge Benitez in order, in her words, to maintain public confidence in the courts. In my opinion, this is nothing more than a tactic to try to scare or to prevent Judge Benitez from issuing Pro 2A decisions. You have a liberal activist here in Gavin Newsom, a Ninth Circuit Court judge, and others latching onto a story and trying to use it against Judge Benitez. So I wanted to bring this to everyone's attention because I wanted to bring to light these slimy tactics by the state of California, by Gavin Newsom, by potentially the Ninth Circuit here and trying to go after Judge Benitez because of his decisions in Miller, Duncan, and Rohde. Hopefully nothing really comes of this. Hopefully this doesn't impact any of those cases. But of course, if anything does happen in regards to those cases, I will let you know. So that's what's happening in California. If you have any questions, go ahead and comment down below and I'll try to answer the best of my ability. Also, if you like this video and you would like to support the channel, one of the best ways to do that is to like, comment, and subscribe. All those things help to fuel the algorithm and it signals to YouTube that you guys see value in these videos and in this type of 2A news. As always, I want to thank everybody who likes, comments, subscribes, who hits the notification bell, who shares these videos. You guys are directly impacting these videos, impacting this channel, and helping me to reach and educate more people than I could ever do on my own. So as always, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And don't forget, this nation was built by armed scholars, and this nation will be maintained by armed scholars.